Hey guys, Colin here, back with this week's video of records and other stuff. On my usual night, I was on before Saturday night here. I have a really weird schedule now, so I'm kind of off and on here uh, at different times. Mostly I have to do this after 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and then my video won't be up till like 10, maybe 10:30 Central Time, because I put the attach the intro on the beginning, and it edits, and it takes like 30 minutes for it to edit that intro into this, which it's all right. And I was just thinking about this today. I said, I've been on doing these YouTube videos for a while now. So I would look back at any of my old videos in a long time. So I went back and checked, how long have I been on here doing this? Well, my very first video was on March 5th, 2011 at 6 p.m. And I was just sharing my old Edison cylinder phonograph on that. And then between 2011 and 2013, all I did was show my record player collection and 8-track players, radios, stuff like that. So if you're interested, those very old videos are way back in my video collection here, if you want to look at some of my collection of players. Now, there are a couple of them that I don't have anymore, a couple of the 8-track players, because somebody stole them. That's a long story. Now, my very first video in front of the camera was January 18th, 2013 at 8:57 p.m. Now, that's quite a ways. I had quite a few videos in between there where I pointed the camera at whatever I was trying to show. I didn't get in front of the camera for another year or two. Anyway, that's just some information. But I got some records here. First, we have a couple of oddballs. This is Lennon Jen versus the Ants. And this was a radio show. The original broadcast as heard on Escape, August 4th, 1949. Release number 3, Horror Series number 1. Now, I haven't listened to any of these yet, so I can't tell you if they're any good, but I just really enjoy these. I have a pretty good collection of old radio shows on album. The Shadow, Green Hornet, Superman, Spider-Man, Lone Ranger, and I thought that looked interesting, so I picked that up. And next we have the original movie soundtrack to Sherlock Holmes' House of Fear, starring Basil Rathbone and Nigel, I'm going to say Bruce, because it's covered up by that $1.99 sticker, wherever it was $1.99 at. And I haven't listened to this, so I don't know if this is another radio show or the music to the movie, but we'll find out. And next we have a Chuck Berry record, San Francisco Dues. Now, I have some Chuck Berry records, and they mostly have his hits. This one has some songs I don't think I've ever heard before. Oh, Louisiana, Let's Do Our Thing Together, Your Lick, Festival. That's not one song, that's two. Bound to Lose, Bordeaux and My Peru, San Francisco Dues, Viva Rock and Roll, My Dream, and Lonely School Days. And this is recorded at the Lansing Sound Company in Lansing, Michigan. Isn't that where he lived? I think he had his own studio, right? There's Mr. Berry there. And this ought to be an interesting record to listen to. It's on a Chess label, but that kind of a chest label. And next, yes, another James Brown again. James Brown Live and Lowdown at the Apollo Volume 1. 1962 greatest live show ever recorded. And this has an interesting label also. It's sort of an embossing of him on there, solid smoke. My phone might be going off and on. I forgot to turn off the dinger. And that's it for the records. Next, I have I showed this in a video a long time ago, and I'll just thought I'd show it here again. It's a tobacco jar or a cigar humidor, maybe. And I don't use it for tobacco or anything. It kind of just sits back there by that clock and things. The lid comes off. I got this, I don't remember where I got it or where I got it, but I've had it for a while. And it's just kind of a neat piece. And you can find those all over the internet for like 30 bucks is a going price on those, or cheaper. Next, we have I remember I showed you this in a previous video and the felt was all messed up. This is that big box I showed of the 2 or 3 boxes I showed you so far. This is the really big one, and I and Connie worked on replacing the felt inside of it. I even have a short video, a few videos back of me soaking the felt and peeling it off in the sink over there. But here's how it came out. This is the big one. And I think it came out pretty good for a first time. This was the very first box we worked on. And I still have a few more things to do to it, some cleaning and whatnot. But I thought it came out really nice. Connie, when you watch this, thank you for helping with me with these and other stuff she's been helping me with lately. Some of my business type things. And that's that. I have a book here I'm going to read from. And this is a City Lights pocket book of Allen Ginsberg, Howl, and other poems. Introduction by William Carlos Williams. Somebody better go check to make sure that guy's not a serial killer. Because don't they usually have like 3 names? William Carlos Williams. Anyway, this was a pretty controversial book for its time when it came out. Allen Ginsberg's Howl and Other Poems was originally published by City Lights Books in the fall of 1956, subsequently seized by U.S. Customs and the San Francisco Police. It was the subject of a long court trial at which a series of poets and professors persuaded the court that the book was not obscene. And if you want to pause that and read all that stuff, there you go. But I'm just going to read like the first page right there. Let me get sauced up some more. Before we start reading this, here we go. I saw the best minds of my generation destroyed by madness, starving, hysterical, naked, dragging themselves through the Negro streets at dawn looking for an angry fix. Angel-headed hipsters burning for the ancient heavenly connection to the starry dynamo in the machinery of night. Who poverty and tatters and hollow-eyed and high sat up smoking in the supernatural darkness of cold water flats floating across the tops of cities contemplating jazz. who bared their brains to heaven under the L and saw Mohammedan angels staggering on tenement roofs illuminated, who passed through universities with radiant cool eyes, hallucinating Arkansas and Blake light tragedy among the scholars of war, who were expelled from the academies for crazy and publishing obscene odes on the windows of the skull. I guess windows of your mind, maybe. And it's a pretty long poem, Howl is. And if you listen to, you can find videos of him reading it on YouTube, especially when he was younger. He really yelled almost when he read it. Howl. I guess he was howling. But, you know, he was part of the beat movement back then, and I really enjoy a lot of those guys' work. Thanks for tuning in, calling over and out, and Weirdos Unite.